Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's lab, we are going to explore the difference between redundancy interface and the aggregate interface in FortiGate Firewall. I'll show you how to configure both in the lab and explain where each is used in the real world network. So now let's jump into the lab. Okay, so basically we are going to do the two labs here, one on aggregation and one on redundancy. For this setup, I'll be using one FortiGate firewall and one Cisco switch. I'll use this cloud, so this act as my internet router for this lab. Okay, so let me do the connectivity 0 to port 1. I have chosen the port 1 because by default DHCP client has been enabled on the port 1, and from the Cisco switch the 0 to the port 2 and 0/1 to 3 and 2 to 4. I'll add one more. Okay, total 4 interfaces. Okay, so let me power on all these devices. So from the Cisco switch side, I have connected 0/3, 0/2 and 0/1 and 0/0. Okay, from the firewall side, I have connected port 5, 4, port 3 and the port 2. Okay, so let me boot up the firewall now. So it will take some time to boot up. So before we jump into the configuration, let me quickly explain the theory behind the aggregation and the redundancy and the key difference between them. So the aggregation interfaces, what do you see here, all 4 interfaces. This, what it does is it combines multiple links into one logical interface. So why do we do this is to just increase the bandwidth and the load balance traffic. So this distributed traffic across all the members, we have the 4 links, so all my traffic will be distributed into all different 4 links. Okay, so it use some hashing algorithm. So for example, the MAC or the IP or the layer 4 ports, and also it improves the throughput by utilizing multiple links simultaneously. If one link fails, the traffic is redistributed across remaining links with minimum disruption. Maybe you will see the 1 or 2 packet loss when the load balancing is happening between the 4 different interfaces. Okay, so let me take the control of the switch as well. So configure terminal. I would say let me give name to the switch. Let's say the host name is aggregation. Okay, so now I combine all these 4 interfaces into one single ether channel. Okay, since this class is focused more on the FortiGate, I'll not go deep into the switch configuration. Okay, so the interface range Ethernet 0/3, sorry, 0/0 to 3, which means I'm combining all these interfaces. Channel group 1, so I'll give the number to the channel group, and the mode is we can use active or passive or on. So if you just put the question mark, you will get to see active, auto, desirable, on, passive. So I'll use active on the both the side. Okay, so this is done. My channel group has been created from the switch side. Okay, so you can able to see here, show ether channel, show, so ether channel 1, and you can write the summary. So here it shows my 4 physical interfaces 0 to 3 is combined into one ether channel group, and the flag it shows is yes. So yes is nothing but the suspended. So you can see in under flags the yes is something suspended. Here it is the suspended, and also the pole 1. So port channel 1, the SD is yes is nothing but the layer 2, and the D is disconnected or down. So here you can see the D is down and the S is L2, S is layer 2. Okay, so because it is down, we have not configured Ether channel or LACP on the FortiGate firewall. Okay, so let me get into the FortiGate firewall. The username is admin. There is no default password in the beginning. You just hit enter. I'll give the new password, admin and admin. Show system interface. So I got the IP address from the WAN. Okay, let me copy paste this. The username is admin and the password is admin. Let me minimize this. Later. Say okay. Okay, let me directly jump into the interface. Okay, so this port 1 is connected to my WAN or the internet router, and I'll create now the aggregation. Okay, the name could be anything. It is not compulsory you should write the aggregation or something. The type is important. The type I am choosing it 802.3 AD aggregate, and the interface, who are the member of this interface, who are the member of this group is port 2, 3, 4 and 5. I'm combining all these physical interfaces into one virtual interface. Okay, the addresses is 10.10. Let's say 7.1/24, and I'll enable the ping. So I need the DHCP server as well for the testing purpose. Say 20 to 254. This is enough. Okay, so now you can see the aggregation interface, it is showing down. I'll just refresh. See, now it is green and up and running fine. Let me go back to my lab. I'll show it in the switch as well. Show ether channel. Show ether channel 1 summary. See, here you can see it is P, which is bundled. So where is P? Bundled in the port channel. Okay, P, 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 and S and U, layer 2. U is nothing but in use. Okay, so now let's do the testing. For that, I'll connect one virtual PC. Okay, and I'll connect it with the switch. Since I have not configured any VLAN, so all my interfaces are in the default VLAN, but default VLAN is VLAN 1. Okay, start. Let me power on this one. Let me check whether I'll get the IP address from the DHCP. IP DHCP, the DORA process will start running. DORA. Okay. Okay, so I got the IP address, which is 7.20, and the gateway is 7.1. Let me do the pinging. 10.10.7.1 minus C. It can send request for 1000 times. Okay, now it is pinging. Now let's do the testing. So I'll get into the switch. My 3210 port has been connected. So I'll shut down one of this, the interface, the channel, Ethernet 0/0, shut down. Okay, let me come back again to my PC. Is it pinging? Yes, it is pinging. Okay, because since the traffic is distributed all over my 4 interfaces, so if any one of the interface goes down, I have other 3 working as a primary. Okay, so all my interfaces will be acting as active interfaces. Okay, so let me disable the other interface as well, and configure terminal interface Ethernet 0/2, and I'll shut down this too. Okay, so let me do the switch. Still it is pinging. Okay, so this is how the aggregation interface works in the FortiGate and in the Cisco switch as well. And I'll show you one more thing as well in the switches. So if you look at the switch configuration, show ether channel 1 summary. So here you see my two of the interfaces are downstate, but still I am able to ping my gateway. This is because the ether channel does the load balancing, which use the protocol called LACP. Okay, so it shows the D, which is nothing but a down. Okay, so this is all about the aggregation interface. Yes. So now the next lab is the redundancy interface. So the for that redundancy interface, I need the same setup, redundancy interface. For this lab, I'll take one FortiGate firewall and one switch. Okay, so cloud for my internet, and I'll do the connectivity. The port 1, already told you the DHCP client has been enabled. So from 0 to here, I'll connect port 2 and port 3, and I'll connect 3 is enough. Port 4, port 3 and the port 2. This is about the redundancy interfaces. Okay, do not get confused between the aggregate and the redundancy. Okay, let me power on this. So before we get into the configuration, let me quickly explain about the redundancy interface. In the redundancy interface, what happens is it combines multiple link into one logical interface, but only one active link at a time for the failover. In case of the aggregation, what happens, all the 4 members will be act as active, but in case of the redundancy interface, only one physical interface will be act as a active, and the rest of all the interfaces will be act as a passive one, or the backup, you could say. And the throughput limited to the bandwidth of a single link, so no increase in the capacity. If active link fails, another link became an active. Failover occurs with slightly switchover. You will see the 1 or 2 packet losses here. Okay, so let me boot up my firewall. It will take maybe 1 to 2 minutes. And from the Cisco switch, you do not require any configuration because FortiGate firewall will not forward any traffic from the link 2 or the link 3. So there is no chance for the loop in the network. Okay, my FortiGate firewall has been booted up. So the name is admin, no password, admin and admin. Okay, show system interface. I got the IP. My HTTP and HTTPS also been enabled on the port 1. Okay, and I'll copy paste here. The user is admin and the password is admin. So I'll minimize little bit. Okay, so let me directly jump into the interface. Here the interface is redundancy, and the type is redundancy interface. I'll use the IP 10.10.100.1/24. I'll enable the ping. I need DHCP for the testing, so I'll write 24. Okay, say okay, fine. Sorry, I have not added any interfaces in the redundancy, so let me add the interface as well, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, say okay. Now the redundancy interface I have created, the members are 2, 3 and 4. Let me refresh this. Okay, so my interface is up and running fine. Now let's do the testing. So I'll take one virtual PC. I'll connect this one to the Cisco switch, port 3. Let me power on and request for the IP address. IP DSCP, discover, offer, request, and the acknowledge. Okay, so I got the IP address which is 100.24 and the gateway is 100.1. So let me ping 10.10.100.1. Can I able to ping 100? Yes. So let me write one policy just to show you which interfaces the firewall is using to forward the traffic. I'll say the redundancy to WAN port, and the one redundancy, and the WAN is port 1. Source is all, destination is all, the service is also the all. No need service is all. I'll just write the ping and ICMP. It is not a good practice to write all. Okay, I'll say okay. Now let me get into the lab. So let me ping Google DNS -C 100. Okay, so I can able to ping to the Google DNS with the redundancy interface. Now I need to check which interfaces the firewall is using. Okay, so here you could able to see the hit count, last use, first use, everything. Now let me go back to the command prompt, diagnosis sniffer packet any. I'll write host. The host IP is the system IP. Show IP something. Oh, yeah, 100.24, 100.24, 10.10.100.24, and host is 888. Do not worry about these commands. In coming classes, I'll show you how to troubleshoot with the help of the CLI. Okay, 40A. Now let me go back here and I'll ping again. Okay, so in the FortiGate firewall, you could see my FortiGate firewall is using the port 2. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll shut down port 2. Let's do this. I'll shut down port 2. Configure terminal, config system interface, edit port 2, set status down, next and end. Okay, so now will I see any drops? Yeah, I saw one drop. Okay, so it's changing the status from active to passive. I saw one drop, that is fine. Now let me check in the configuration here. Now my firewall is using port 3 to forward the traffic to the Google DNS. Okay, so now what I'll do, I'll shut down the port 3 also. Better. Configure system interface, edit port 3, set status down, next and end. Now let me check again. Now it is using port 4. Yes, so this is all about the redundancy interface. That's all for today's lab on redundancy and the aggregation interface in FortiGate. I hope this helped you to understand the difference and how to configure them in the real world scenarios. So if you have any question, feel free to ping me on my email at akrammansur50@gmail.com or connect me on LinkedIn. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe for my labs and tutorials. See you in the next video.